I am on Chapel Street and I've come to see buccleugh Church and its graveyard, which I think is behind that bus. So I'm going to cross the road. Yep, we're in the right place. Buccleugh Churchyard. We'll go around this way. So there's not actually a lot to see here, but what there is to see here is very interesting, at least to me. Oh, this is a small churchyard, isn't it? So whereas usually with these kind of visits, I would say, oh, I'm going to come back to this place. In this case, I'm probably only going to do the one trip. I think I can cover everything in one video. Okay, right, so I've got two graves to find. I'll see if I can find the first one, and then I'll talk about that. And then the second one is unmarked, but I think I know where it is, and we'll deal with that when we get to that. Well, okay, we've had a bit of a snag on the number one because it's fenced off, and to be honest, even if this fence wasn't there, I'm not going to get in there to see what it is to read the grave. I'll have to try and find a picture. I can't even see it through the trees. I can sort of half see it, but the one I want to see is completely obscured. So there's a couple of people in here. Andrew Duncan, I can see that one. That's not who I'm talking about though. What I'm talking about is Charles Darwin. He is buried in here. Now it's not the origin of the species guy. It's actually his uncle, but he's here. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame really. I would love to see a grave with Charles Darwin written on it. If I come up here and zoom in, there is a headstone. There is more than one name on that, but I just can't read it. Too many things in the way. Okay, well that's one. Like I say, the other one's unmarked, so this might be a cracker of a video. Okay, let's see if I can find the second one. Okay, so I am led to believe that this is the marker I'm looking for. This bit of metal in the wall, and that below that is the unmarked grave of Deacon Brodie, the inspiration from Jekyll and Hyde. Very briefly, his story: he was a cabinet maker by day. In fact, one of his desks is in the Writers' Museum, which was owned by Robert Louis Stevenson. But then at night he was a gambler / burglar, womanizer, the whole thing. Yeah, so he actually used copies of keys entrusted to him by customers who were getting him to make cabinets for them, and then he'd go back when they're not there and rob the place. He got caught eventually with his accomplices. Somebody ratted on him basically. He tried to escape to Amsterdam, but he was brought back here, and he was hung on the Royal Mile by St Giles. Yeah, and he's buried here, so they say. Interestingly, or ironically, it's probably the better word, the platform and the trapdoor that we used to hang him, he actually built. So yes, whoopsie. So there's the grave of Deacon Brodie, quite probably. Okay, I'll just do a bit about the church itself, and then we'll call it a day. So there's actually more graves here than I was expecting, but even still, there's not many, and there's a bit of a story behind that, especially in this area in the middle. Right, let's start at the beginning. Anyway, so the church opened in 1764. And the ground was consecrated by an Episcopalian bishop called William Faulkner. Now, St Cuthbert's session, who was in charge of the area, they hadn't given permission, and it was improperly witnessed, so they got a bit of a stern talking to about that. You have to do these things properly, don't you? Anyway, where were we? Right, we're going to fast forward to 1901. So this area here, which was the graveyard, they decided they were going to build a church hall on it, over the top of the graves. Now I believe they did move some of them, but how can I put this? It wasn't met with great enthusiasm pretty criticised they were, and the best bit is still yet to come. Where were we? 1909, fast forward a couple more years, the Southside Roller Skating Academy rented the hall as its roller skate rink. So yes, they had a roller skate rink in the graveyard, on top of the graves. Let's say that was short-lived would be an understatement. The press were all over that one, even back in 1909. What's amazing about that is it's quite early for roller skating. I'd heard about the roller skating rink and I thought 70s. I wasn't thinking 1909. So there you go. I might just have a quick scoot around, see if there's anything else of interest while I'm here. But this has pretty much been buccleugh Church and graveyard. A bit disappointing that I've not been able to see the graves that I came to see. Well, I sort of found Deacon Brodie's from the information I was given, but the other one I can't get near. Yeah, let's have a quick scoot around. If there's anything else, I'll show you. If not, bye.